Hey guys, and in today's video we're going to do our first ever Q&A. If you've been watching our journey, you'll see we're a family of 7 moving from Canada to Portugal, and over the course of the last 10 weeks or so since we've had this YouTube channel, been documenting what we're doing, we've got a bunch of questions coming up. So these are the top questions that you guys have been asking, and yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, one of the questions really caught us off guard, and we're going to save that one till the end, so make sure you stick around. I'm going to ask the questions and then we're just going to answer them together, right? So first question, why would you move to a country you've never visited? That is a very good question. And I think that sometimes, why are we going there when we have never been there? It is a little bit crazy. To most people, it's completely crazy, like to go somewhere and move all of us. It's not just me and you. Like if it was just a couple, then it would be like, oh yeah, that's fun. But like, it's literally, we're upheaving our whole life and moving everyone.
Selling our house, selling everything. It's definitely a big move, and we did speak about it a lot. We discussed it with the kids at length. We really feel like we're just going to move there and try it out. I don't think you ever get the feel of a country, of what it's like to live somewhere when you're on holiday. You're just not going to get that. So doing the whole backwards and forwards, that might be a good idea if you're trying to find a house. But we are not too fussed about where we live for the first 12 months. We are trying to find a rental right now. Where we are isn't as important to us for those first 12 months because we want to visit the whole place and, you know, travel up and down and decide where we want to buy a home and live. Anyway, and we're looking at that 12 months as a working holiday, basically. So I'll still be working every day, but we'll have lots of time to explore and really get into the culture and the history and learn the language and all that sort of stuff. So I think would be a waste of money for us to go there on holiday.
A lot of people would go there on holiday, say, yeah, we love this, we want to move here, and then come back. Then they'd have to go there again, potentially to find somewhere to live and look around, maybe see where they want, buy a place or find a rental and stuff. And there's a lot of back and forth involved in that, and we just want to eliminate all of that and just go there the one time and do all the exploring, looking around and stuff while we're there, instead of having to keep flight. Like you can imagine a flight for 7 of us back and forth. Like it just doesn't make sense financially. You
can buy houses in Portugal for the cost of a 2-week trip for us. Go to Portugal.
And also like when we're there, we'd have to have a hotel or an Airbnb, and like then we're still having to pay for our place here in Canada. Like it really doesn't make sense for us to be doing the back and forth numerous times when we know that we want to move somewhere else. So we're just going to move. And
we know there's going to be a culture shock for us for sure. It's completely different, but we are from Europe. We've had, 20-something years in England. So I think a Canadian moving or someone from North America moving to Europe will be a much bigger culture shock than us. We have traveled a lot. We're used to completely different way of lifestyle to Canada anyway. So I think it's not going to be like this thing where we don't know what we're getting into. We've done hundreds and hundreds of hours of research and watching other people who have done the same thing.
It will be a slight shock, obviously, because we have come accustomed to this Canadian lifestyle that we have created here.
Which is great.
That we love. Like everything is so easily accessible, and like it will be a little bit of a shock like that sense. But like Brett said, me and him are used to that. Like we grew up that way of life where everything wasn't just outside your doorstep and stuff like that. So
so that's why, if you're interested in a bit more of that, we actually did do a whole video on why we're choosing to just travel there, because it has come up a lot from people thinking we're crazy for just moving there without visiting.
Maybe we are a little.
We are a bit crazy. So we did do a whole video on that. You can go and check that out. And by the way, guys, most of our people who are viewing our channel aren't subscribed. So if you appreciate and you want to watch and follow along what we're doing, we are moving to Portugal in just a matter of weeks, really. Click the subscribe button, the like and that notification bell, and be alerted to any of our new videos.
Okay, next question. How can you afford this? Like really? That's a fun question.
How can you afford this? Like really?
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, not obvious. We own our home here in Canada. We still have a mortgage and stuff, but like obviously with selling it, we built this home. So we have made a bit of a profit, obviously, with building it, and then
we've built a couple of homes here, haven't we?
Yeah.
And both of them, and the housing prices here have just gone up and up and up.
Which is we are very lucky and fortunate to be in that position that we've been able to do that. So
so we built a couple of homes. We have some, quite a bit of equity in our houses. We have business that I can do remotely. We have, a few years ago, I got into crypto, so we have some you know, we were quite involved in crypto. I've been online marketing for years, so.
And Brett has always been an entrepreneur, like at heart. Like he is very outgoing and able to do anything that he puts his mind to, which is a blessing. Like not a lot of people are like that.
She wants something.
No, I don't think. Like he is very hard driven and motivated. When he knows that he can do it, he just focuses and he does it. So if it wasn't for him, then we wouldn't be able to do any of this. So
yeah, we haven't done any videos on our channel about this specifically, but it is something I want to go over because there has been a lot of people that have messaged me about how you're able to do it. And I know there's people out there who really want to move to another country or want to work remotely, but they maybe haven't figured out how to do that. And I've always been interested in, although I've always had like a manual skill, a manual job in plumbing, I've always done stuff on the side. So there are ways that even a plumber can make an online income. And actually we're launching our plumbing coaching business here pretty soon. So for most of you watching this, that's not going to be something you're interested in, but it's just another stream of income for us.
And that will be a whole nother channel and stuff too, right?
Absolutely.
That's not going to be on this
no.
channel. But
no, I'm just saying, like there's lots of ways anyone can make money online. You can help other people doing something that you know a little bit more about, and you can make an income doing it. So,
and that's a funny thing that he gets not frustrated, but like kind of confused when people say that they have no way to make money. He's like, there's a million ways to make money.
Yeah, there's a million ways to make $1 million.
With that.
Yeah, anyone can make money. So I haven't got any like people who say they're struggling or working a million jobs and they just can't get by, or complaining about rent prices and stuff like that. Like there's lots of ways you can make money, so I don't really have much sympathy. Well, I mean, there are people that just haven't grasped technology and stuff, and there's a big learning curve to get into that sort of thing. But if you really want to learn, like you can make endless amounts of money if you just jump on YouTube. And you know, if you're sitting there struggling and you're sitting there watching this, there's other videos you can watch where you can actually learn to make an income as well. And we hope to. And
it's all like, it is persistence. Like you can't just do it.
Yeah, it's years of just grinding and stuff. Like I've been doing it for years. Anyway, I think that answered that question. But we are looking to move to Portugal to lower our outgoings as well. Yeah. So that's another thing. Like our outgoings will be significantly less in Portugal.
Thank God.
Thank God. So it's just, you know, it's we're pretty comfortable here, but it will be way less to live in Portugal. So. Depending on where you live. If you live outside of the cities and you're very careful, and we're pretty frugal anyway, we don't waste a lot of money. Having 5 kids, you have to be a little bit like that. But
be creative with your money.
Be creative and not just waste money left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
So Portugal, you know, we're gonna find a place where it's cheaper to live, and we're gonna shop in places where it's cheaper. Like we're not just gonna go to the Lidls and all that. We're gonna use local and all that sort of stuff.
And also, like, we're very excited to actually be able to, like, have a garden, like, actually be able to grow our own fresh things, have an orchard, have some trees, and, like, all of that stuff is very exciting, because here, the growing season is, like, very limited, and you have to start everything quite early in your house,
and land is very expensive here as well. Like, you can't, you know, we watch videos all the time where people are, like, just buying land off the neighbours and stuff. There seems to be a ton of land in certain areas, you know, depending where you're going, but yeah.
So next question, hopefully that answered that one. What are your kids going to do for school in Portugal? Did you do that one?
Yeah, you answer that.
Okay, since the pandemic, when everyone was forced to do schooling at home, online or with their school at home, everyone was forced to do it. We had no choice but to do it, and it's something that we always wanted to do prior COVID and stuff. We wanted to do.
The schools got a little bit funny, didn't they? I think the last few years since we were at school.
And also we wanted to do it because we wanted to be able to travel more, right?
Yeah.
We wanted to have the freedom with it to be able to travel more and stuff.
Because like your sister we can pretty much go whenever we want, can't we? Now Levi's in school, it's a little bit tricky, but it's
even
just
we can still take him out. We don't get penalised.
No.
We can still go on holiday whenever we like. But
Amy's sister.
My sister, for example, in the UK, if she's to take her children out of school during school time, she gets fined and stuff.
Every day, yeah. They both do, don't they?
Yeah. Both her and her partner both get fined, which is kind of crazy, really, just to take your children on holiday, but that it is what it is. Yeah. But so that was another reason why we wanted to do it initially. So after COVID, we stayed home and everyone carried on doing school from home. And then Levi 2 or 3 years ago wanted to go back to school for the social side, and being the only boy at home, I don't blame him. So he went back to school. The older 3 have just continued with online learning now. So
you're
17.
not teaching them?
No, I'm not teaching now.
They're just learning
Originally, I was the teacher.
Yeah.
And I had curriculum and stuff, everything I was following, like everything was laid out for us. But now they do online learning. So they have a teacher, they go to classes, they go to Zooms, they do all their work like from a teacher that is assigned to them. But with
they actually, like, they were behind, like Layla was struggling with certain areas and she went back a couple of years, didn't she?
Yeah, when I did homeschooling with them after COVID, I realized like they actually are struggling with certain areas and they wasn't getting the one-on-one help.
Like
so that was another benefit.
A lot of kids do. They
just
they
push
struggle
through. They're
and then you get behind and then you push through and you didn't really understand the stuff from the last year.
Yeah.
You know, certain aspects of it. And the
so
kids
that
were
was
like that.
An amazing thing that we was able to do one-on-one and actually help them.
And go back and then
everything.
push them through the stuff that they didn't understand. So they didn't understand it, and then beyond where they were. Yeah. And it's a lot less of the day is taken up because it's like one-on-one. So they get loads of time to do other stuff. So homeschooling is great. The only thing is the social aspect of it is an issue, but there's like club. They've always done soccer.
There's loads of extra. Canada has an amazing homeschooling community. Like there's lots of.
We've gone to the like trips with them and stuff, haven't we? With the other like
field trips and stuff.
Yeah, the other kids and the programs and stuff. So.
But anyway, getting back to that, the older 3 now, 2 of them are in high school, and then our other one is in like junior high. So in England and Europe, our older 2 would have already graduated. Like they already would have left school, but they haven't because we're in Canada. So the schooling is till they're 18. So obviously we have to continue with the program they're with. So to answer the question,
was a long
that was a long answer. To answer the question, they will just continue doing their online learning. So they have teachers, they have everything assigned to them. It is because I know in Portugal you can't just do homeschooling if you don't have a teacher degree.
Yeah, they have to.
You have to have an actual teacher or a tutor.
But the first year we're traveling anyway, so like we're just gonna. One of the things in the first year will be finding a good school for Levi and Penelope. So that will be one of the tasks we have in the first year. But for the first year, we're going to be traveling. They're going to be learning online. As long as I have an internet connection, I'm good.
So for Levi and Penelope's too young to be at school as of right now. But Levi, he will do online learning as well. So all 4 of them will do online learning with the current curriculum they're with, like with Canada schooling and stuff. And then Layla, this will be Layla's last year. Come September. So
and then everyone will be doing Portuguese lessons starting right away as well. So I don't know if there's some sort of we haven't looked too deep into that. Certainly the language side of it will be doing that right away, probably starting this week. But then I'm sure there's some like courses out there that we can start doing all of us just for the history and the culture and learning everything about Portugal instead of just focusing on the language.
So to answer the question, all 4 of the children that are of school age will do online learning with the Canadian curriculum that they're doing here. With teachers, they'll have Zooms, they'll have all their classes assigned and schoolwork and everything. And they'll just do that around us. Like we said, for the first year, we're going to be traveling around and exploring Portugal.
So we just want the freedom to be able to really, we don't want to have to worry about the kids having to get to school at certain times.
Like you've said.
There's waiting
we can work remotely. And because we don't know where we actually are going to buy a home, we don't want to start them in a school and then have to move them again and then have to settle in again.
We have no idea where we want to live. So, anyway.
Yeah, so hopefully that answers that one. Next one. What do you actually do for work and can you earn enough living abroad?
So we've already answered the money question, but for what I actually do on a day-to-day basis, I own a plumbing business here. Which will still be here, and my sort of focus on that is the systems, technology, the website, the online stuff. I'll be available for phone calls and meetings just like normal. That won't change at all. The time difference will just mean I'll be more active with the plumbing company in the afternoons and the evenings, and then that will give me the days to do whatever we're doing. And I just focus on building stuff online, basically, marketing and that sort of thing.
And you can kind of just quickly say that it says, can you really earn enough to live abroad? Yeah, our income that we earn here in Canada is going to go a lot further in Portugal because everything is significantly less.
To give you an idea of our outgoings are about 10,000 a month here. Yeah, so.
And that's not doing anything fun, that's just basic stuff, so.
Yeah, that's just paying the bills, basically. Yeah. Yeah, so our outgoings are about $10,000, just to be transparent and give you an idea of what it's like in this area of Canada. And we have a comfortable life, and we have 5 kids, and Amy helps with the plumbing business, but she doesn't have to go out and do a full-time job. It's not like, there's a lot of people here where mum and dad are both working and kids are in childcare and that sort of thing. So we have built a relatively comfortable life, but and we're very frugal. Like we don't spend a ton of money. No. But our outgoings are around 10,000 Canadian a month. So
we don't
let us know how far is what are our expenses going to be from what the research we've done. Our rent, we can have a really nice place for big enough for all of us for a couple of $1,000s a month. That's $1,000 to $2,000 less than we're spending here. And then groceries are going to be way cheaper. As far as I can see, everything is considerably cheaper as long as you're careful and you're not in like the main cities and stuff. So yeah, from what we've seen.
Just an example as well, like we watched a video the other day. Brett had a dental appointment, right?
Yeah.
This is just an example. How much was your...
This is crazy. Over $600 to have your teeth cleaned. Over $600 here. And then we was watching another YouTuber and they were saying it was like $40 or 60 US euros.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just that alone, like there's some crazy comparison videos out there. And we will do lots of these when we get there because they're good videos that everyone loves to watch. But yeah, just to give you an idea. And we have like private health, even private health insurance. We've been doing some research and we can get good private health insurance for $50 or 50
for a
euros.
Fraction of the price we're paying now.
There. And now we pay like, how much do we pay? $300 a month?
That's just our portion of it.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, we pay like $500-600 for private health. Like it's just wild how the difference. Anyways, but we'll do some videos when we get there on the actual difference. Utilities is like crazy. Phone bills is hundreds of dollars a month. Like everything is just so expensive. And you do earn a lot more money, but it's just so much more expensive that I'm sure like the difference to living in Portugal, although you earn way less money, like the average salary is way less, everything costs less. So I feel like a lot of people are struggling exactly the same. And if you can make it work so you can earn your income online, then going to a country where stuff is cheaper, then it is obviously, that's one of the main reasons that we just want everything to, we just don't want any financial stress at all. Like, we don't want the financial stress. It just frees up loads more for us.
And for example, like our mortgage that we have to pay, obviously, every month, if we're able to just buy a house outright.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, yeah.
Like,
yeah, buying a house and not having a mortgage is huge.
Yeah, so.
Just for even if you can afford the mortgage, like it's still a lot of money that's going out every month, It's always something that's got to be accounted
and it's for you, it's a stress for you, isn't it? Like,
stressful.
You feel obviously responsible and reliable to make sure you have that income every month and stuff.
Yeah, so that's one thing we're looking for. Whether we go, I mean, anywhere else we go in Europe, we'd be able to buy a house outright and then not have that stress. So that's one of the big things for us.
Yeah. Ready for the next one? How are you handling the visa situation? Isn't it confusing?
It was at the start until we found Ankylos.
The thing at the very beginning that was very confusing for us, especially because we are such a large family, we have to earn that much more because Brett has to be able to support me and the 5 children. So for us being such a large family, no one was sure exactly what number.
They're still not sure. We've just made sure that we've covered basically all of the different things that people said. We even messaged the embassy and they gave us different answer we spoke about 8 different lawyers. We've got a video on our channel about this. But yeah, I mean, they all just said completely different things. It's not clear. We're aware that, that bureaucracy and the paperwork and, that sort of thing is something that people moan about a lot with Portugal. So we're not getting, upset or angry about it, but it's very confusing for sure.
And just for an example for that, like when we were setting up a bank account in Portugal, they sent us all the documents. We had to physically sign them. We couldn't e-sign them. We had to physically sign them, then send them. And just to send them these 11 pieces of paper, it was like 150 Canadian dollars. So it was like, okay, it is what it is. We'll send them. And then a couple of weeks later, we got an email back. They're not correct because they didn't have the footer on. So they didn't have page 3 of 4 or whatever. So then they said they can't use them documents. We have to do the whole thing again. So that's just a little example of what it can be like for us, but we didn't let that affect us. It is what it is. It was our mistake.
It's just one of the things. We're not going to get upset about it. We know it's coming, and
people have warned us about that and said.
Lots of people. Everyone complains about that. It seems. That's just the way it is, and that's we're
so we just have to
we're accepting it.
Embrace that's the way it is.
So the visa application is we're still unsure. We're still a little bit worried, but one thing I will say is anchorless. You can hire immigration lawyers. You can hire people. We got quotes from 5,000 to 10,000 to have an immigration company help us and hold our hand through the whole thing. A couple of them seemed good. A couple of them seemed terrible, and then there was a bunch in between. We ended up going with Anchorless, and I will put a link in the description for Anchorless. Basically, this company lays it all out step by step. They've got an amazing website, tons of reviews. We haven't been through the whole process yet, so we can't share our whole experience with them, but everything over the last month or 2 since we've been with them.
Mm-hmm. We have done this whole process before. 13 years ago, we moved from the UK to Canada, and we used an immigration lawyer. So we have had some experience with having to do all of this paperwork, everything that's involved. We do have some experience with having to do this previously, so we know that it is a lot of work and you have to get all the required documents. Like, we know there's a lot of steps and stuff involved, and it's very stressful, like trying to make sure you get all the correct documents. And a new thing we have to do with Portugal is you have to get them, do I dare say the word? You knew what I was going to say before I even said it. That's a new exciting thing that we've never had to do with our documents before, but we have to do them with our documents this time. And no one that I've spoke to here in Canada is like, oh, I need to get this done. They're like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know. But anyway, I found on the website on gov.ca somewhere that we can do it, and it's all being taken care of now.
But it's not a simple process. It's just one of the things where you just have to keep doing step after step. We've got a bunch of videos on our struggles with the visa process. But if we can do it, 5 kids, you can do it as well. That's something we want to show people through this documenting the journey here. So it's definitely something you can do, but I would highly recommend Anchorless. Our experience so far has been absolutely great. They'll jump on Zoom calls. We've had they have lawyers, so you have a lawyer, you just have to book an appointment with them.
Our experience with Anchorless so far has been very positive and very encouraging with them, right? They've helped us even with just the police checks for the kids. For our older 2, it said that we had to have police checks for them because they're over 16. Here in Canada, you aren't allowed to have a police check for a minor, as it's a confidentiality thing. Because they're under 18, you're not allowed. But they got back to us straight away when I spoke to Anchorless. I said, this isn't possible in Canada. The way that they got back to us so quickly, like our other immigration experience coming to Canada, it was like waiting and a lot of back and forth through email. We just have a live chat on Anchorless, and they get back straight away.
And then if you want to call, you can just jump on a call whenever you want. So I think the service is probably more responsive than an immigration company would be. Highly recommend so far.
Are you scared about healthcare, safety, or culture shock?
The healthcare is great. There's different areas where we've done a lot of research on this. There is different areas where you'll have to go to further away for specialists and better quality healthcare. But the healthcare is great, and we'll have private healthcare as well. For we want better healthcare, and we don't want to put a strain on the public system either. So private education, private healthcare is something that we want to do, so we're not putting strain on Portuguese systems that they have in place. From what we've heard, it's, you know, long waits, public healthcare is long waits, stuff like that. But here, like, you book an appointment here and you go to an appointment, you're never in when you book the appointment. It's always long waits here. Compared to England has really great healthcare. I don't know how it is now.
No.
Huh? No. It's not. Well, I mean, when we were in England, it was a lot better than here, for sure. If you have money and you can pay for private healthcare, then it's great. So, you know, we're hoping that we'll get private healthcare, everything set up there. Safety was like safer than Canada. There's fourth, I think, on the safety index or whatever. Yeah. Canada's, I think, 7th. So we have no concerns about safety. Obviously, the cities are rough. There's a, you know, well, that's everywhere.
To be in any big cities or anything,
anywhere.
You expect
there's
crime
rough areas
and higher rates of things, right?
Yeah, we're not going to be in the city centres. We're not going to be, you know, staying in rough areas of the cities. We're going to do our research. We've obviously got 5 kids, so we need to make sure that's something we make sure of, and we're not idiots, so we won't be going we won't be going to rough areas. And as far as crime, you know, there's crime everywhere. It's just how it is, but you know, from all of the research we've done, it's going to be safer than where we are here. You know, there's murders and shootings and all that sort of stuff here. So yeah, we're not concerned about safety.
And the culture shock.
Culture shock. We know it's coming. It's going to be an adventure. We're not.
I think that all depends on what area as well that we go to. Like, they say that it's a very heavy Catholic country. But I think it depends on what specific, like if you're more out in the country, then obviously it's going to be.
There'd be a culture shock if you, I mean, if we're in the city, it's not really going to be, everyone's going to speak English. There's going to be a lot of that sort of thing, but we're planning on being a bit further out. So you've got to expect, you know, less people to speak the language. So that's going to be a bit of a shock.
But we want to embrace that anyway.
Yeah, that's what we're going for. We're not going for another version of, you know, where we are. We want something completely different. So yeah, we're embracing the different culture for sure. And I'm spending a lot of time like watching that stuff on YouTube as well. Like, it's super interesting. I want to learn another language. I don't know any other languages. I had French and German in school, and I was just not there. I wasn't interested in learning, so I just never learned.
Next question. How are you finding a place to rent without even being there? Well, we're not. We're trying to find a place, and it's a lot of research, a lot of messaging, not a lot of messaging back, which is completely different to what we're used to here in Canada. As soon as you go on someone's website to look into a property, they're like
sharks.
Yeah. So for us to respond to so many different houses and not hear anything back is kind of concerning to us here.
Yeah,
like,
and we're on a short timeline, and it's getting shorter and shorter. Like, we need, for those of you that don't know, you need a 12-month contract to get a visa, or the particular visa we're going for.
When you go for your embassy appointment, you have to have your rental contract, or you have to have a house that you've purchased,
or family with a house that are going to put you up.
Yeah, you have to have an address, proof that you're going to stay there for at least the next 12 months.
So we do have a fellow YouTuber that we contacted to go and check out one of the houses that we really liked, or Amy really liked. It looked like an amazing house on the pictures, but when we got there, we figured out that
when he got there,
the entry into the property was like a short lane. It was like a fire hazard, and Portuguese, who is the guy we'd sent out there, highly recommended not going with that place. So he's looking for a place for us. We've messaged like 30 or 40 different places, haven't heard anything back. So we'll just keep following up people. And then, I don't know, this is a tough one for us. So we're still going through this struggle. And, you know, having 5 kids, we need, you know, at least 3 bedrooms. We're going to try and squeeze in somewhere and keep the cost down.
Because like we said, we are going to be going around.
We're going to be going around, staying in other places. And we just want to save as much money as we can in that first year so we can buy somewhere. Because what our goal is going to be to get the place closest to the city that we can within our budget and that sort of thing, innit?
Yeah, for me, I'm really struggling with it because I like to have everything organised. To not have this part that's quite important for us to go to the meeting and not have it already is very kind of frustrating and give me anxiety a little bit because I haven't got it fixed.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping that the house that we liked, like we loved the look of the house. It was beautiful. It had amazing views and everything. I was like, yeah, we could stay there for a year for sure. It looks beautiful. I'm glad that we chose to have someone go and view the property on our behalf.
Yeah.
And
we might still end up there if we can't find somewhere else, because they obviously can't find somewhere else because they keep messaging us asking.
Yeah.
So they're obviously struggling to get someone in there because their tenants are moving out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a long drive. Like the guy's car was bottoming out on the way in there, so we'd have to buy a vehicle that would be all right doing off road. And then in the winter, is it going to be okay? And in the summer, is it going to, they're going to be fire and you get stuck in there. So that's a big concern for us.
And there wasn't anything there either, like for the kids to like go and see or anything.
No, we want them to be able to leave and go for a walk and go to the cafes
or bike or whatever. But we thought that because when we looked at it on Google and stuff, we thought that the little town that was by would have a cafe and some stuff like that. But apparently it's just like a little house village. Like there's just houses there.
Yeah.
You have to go even further to the next village.
But Portuguesa does have a lead on a brand new place that's close to where he is. It's close to Oliveira do Hospital.
Hospital.
Must be hospital, not hospital, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Oliveira do Hospital.
Good job.
It's within biking distance of that, and looks like a nice area. So we're waiting to hear about that. We've sent a load of messages over the weekend.
Which we're grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
considering helping us and looking out for us.
And we're looking, so go and subscribe to Portuguesa if you're not subscribed already. One of my favourite Portugal YouTubers, because he just says what he thinks. He covers like daily news, stuff that's going on in Portugal, does some house tours, does some building stuff, like interesting fella. Go and check out his stuff. And he's one of my favourite Portugal YouTubers. But anyway, we'll keep you updated on the rental front, and when we know and found that place, we'll put the video up and show everyone.
But to answer the question, really, it is very stressful and hard when you're not there to find somewhere.
But I think
because of the communication, right? It is very different to here. Like not the language side of it, it's just very different. Like
pretty laid back.
Yeah, people aren't as quick to get back to you. Like it's not I don't know why it's not an urgency.
But it seems like there's a huge opportunity for, like one of the things we're going to do, I'm always looking to make some money. So, there's a huge opportunity for people who want to respond back to people looking for rentals. So,
yeah.
Like if you're looking, I don't understand if you're an agent and you're trying to rent houses out, why you don't even respond back to people. So that's a huge opportunity for, if you're in Portugal or one of these people in Portugal that's been telling us, struggling with money and that sort of thing, then there may be a business to go and look into, because you can do it on the side, and there's lots of people looking to move to Portugal and struggling with the communication there.
Why not just move somewhere cheaper in Canada or the US? Well, if we was to stay in Canada, we would still have the weather side that we unfortunately are trying to move away from. The snow and everything like that.
A lot of people from this area, their goal is to like move to BC or somewhere where it doesn't snow. Mm-hmm. Like I meet so many older people, because being a plumber, going to people's houses, so many people that just hate the weather here. Like they've just had enough. They get to a point where they're like, I hate it. And there are other people that they're here because of the winter. Yeah. They love snowboarding, skiing. And, I wish we were into that, but we're just not. And there's so many people who get to a certain point in their life where they call them snowbirds. They just go in the winter. And that's what we planned on doing. But
realistically, with having the children, like we can't just leave every. And then
there's a lot of stuff going on between them. Like I always dreamed of moving to Las Vegas. Vegas is like my favorite place in the world, and I always dreamed of getting a place there. Right now. And I still have a goal to buy a place out there so we can travel there and more frequently. I don't know how easy that's going to be now we're moving to the other side of the world again. Here it's like a 3 or 4 hour flight. You get a return flight for like 150 something bucks. So that's all up in the air now with everything that's going on between Canada and America.
Another thing as well, like we wanted to move that side to be closer to the girls always want to travel around Europe and stuff, and they've said that that's where they would want to go anyway.
That's where they're going. They've said to us, like, we're going, I want to go to here in Greece, and Peyton wants to find a husband in Scotland, and like they all want to go that way anyway. So they're fascinated with it. Like if we don't go, they're just going to go, and we're going to be here anyway. So I feel like, and with England, we want to be close to England, but not in England, because I don't want to live in England. So we'll be closer, short flight. We'll be able to fly back and forward. Amy's family will be able to visit Portugal. We'll be able to visit England. We'll be able to visit all Europe. Like here, there's a lot of stuff to see and do, but it's just so far from there. And with a large family, for us to go to Europe is like 10 grand. Like, well, a holiday is going to be 15, 20 grand for sure. Flights are like, up to 10 grand just to get flights. So here, the weather, the main reason we don't want to be here is the weather sucks.
And also, like, the whole reason is we're trying to lower our financial outgoings, right? We're trying to lower all of our stuff. That's a big draw, a big plus for us, is that, I will still have to come here. I will still be here. I still have a business here. I'm very interested in buying some investment properties here. So I'll still have ties here for sure. I have lots of family here. All your family's here.
All my family, sisters, grandparents, mum, dad. So we'll still have ties here. But it's just like, if we have the freedom to really live wherever we want, this isn't our top choice to live full-time permanently. No. Is it? Even if I'm here for a couple of months a year, like, it's not where we want to be full-time permanently. It's not where the kids want to be. It's not where Amy wants to be. Although Canada is a fantastic country and tons of opportunity, it's just if you can live wherever you wanted, would you live where you are now, or would you rather be somewhere else? Like, we want to go somewhere else. Put that down
in the comments below, hey?
Yeah. If you could live where you wanted, would you be where you are? If it wasn't for family, like a lot of people want to be with their family and
or
stay
money.
with their family.
Like, just hypothetically, if you could choose to live wherever, would you actually live where you are?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So US isn't an option for us. It's just we don't want to go through this whole paperwork and trying to figure out the visa and everything to get to America. We want to go to America. We can travel there.
And safety wise,
it's very dangerous. Yeah,
the US isn't.
I mean, there are safe areas just like everywhere, but just in our experience, like, we've been there a lot. So we've traveled to America a lot of times, and I don't know whether we was just going to rough areas or not. It was trying to be cheap, but just like it seems like there's like a line where there's complete poverty one side of the line, and then everything is made for like tourism and amazing and super clean. And I love America, but there's just that, I don't know if I'd want my kids growing up there. Yeah. And it's very expensive, extremely expensive. And
that is expensive to us. For us to still make our income in Canada and to try and do US dollars, like, it wouldn't make sense for us, like, no, financially at all. So let's move on.
Yeah.
What do your extended family think? Are they supportive?
They are. I mean, there was some shock for sure. It's a big move. My family, we're taking the grandkids away, so that's obviously upsetting. But everyone's very supportive now, and at the end of the day, there's going to be some cheap accommodation. They're going to be able to travel a lot with a business. We have a lot of travel points and stuff like that, so it's going to be very cheap holidays in. A lot of people go to Portugal for holidays, so we're going to be available for all that.
Holiday destination.
It's a holiday destination. It's a dental vacation.
So you said,
I've been sent like as a dental vacation. I know, being English, my family, we've got some pretty messed up teeth, so they're looking forward to some holidays for doing that sort of thing. And I don't know. I think now everyone's supportive, and now it's like happening for sure, and everyone can see we're taking all the steps and doing everything. Like, it's a reality. It's more of like people are just having to sort of deal with it. Accept it. So it wasn't easy. And it wasn't. It's hard for everyone. It's hard for us leaving family as well. But it's like we're doing what we think is best for us and our kids mainly. You know, our family, our immediate family, and then the world is getting smaller and smaller just with how easy it is to fly here and there, and yeah, it's not really. We're half a day or flight away, you know, really.
So that's your family.
Yeah.
As for my family, my sister is obviously very excited. I'm very close with my sister. She's very excited that we're going to be that much closer. Just the flight alone is a lot closer. The price of the flight is significantly less, obviously, instead of having to come all the way to Canada. So she's very excited that she'll be able to come see us more. We'll be able to see her more. She's very excited. I think she's still in a little bit of disbelief that it's actually happening. But she knows I'm doing all the paperwork, and she knows
it's happening. So
she's even helping me do the paperwork. She's had to get she's had to get birth certificates, marriage certificate, police checks in the UK and deal with them like she has them at her house. So she knows we're doing it. I just think it feels a little bit like, are they really doing it to her? She says she doesn't know really if she still believes it or not. And then as for my
she'll
mum,
believe it when we show up at the front door.
Yeah, my mum, she didn't even know. So I think when they was talking and Sophie said, she was just like, is she? Oh, that's nice. So that was her.
I won't say anything.
And my dad, he's excited that we'll be closer, that he'll be able to come and visit us more easily and stuff like that. But I think he thinks that we're a little bit crazy, the fact that we're doing it across the world again with all of us. So they're supportive, but kind of think
well, it's
we're
crazy
crazy
for a lot of people to imagine moving across the world once is crazy. We've done it twice, and we're doing it with 5 kids, so most people can't really wrap their head around it. But
and my side of the family, because we left 13 years ago, it obviously was very sad for them at the time when I left, because we had 3 young children. We had 3, 4, 3 and 1, or 3, 2, 1.
They were young.
They was very young.
Yeah.
When we left, so it was very sad and devastating for them at the time when I left, and they've missed loads of the girls, like basically their whole childhood they've missed, right? So it's very sad for them. So they're very excited to be able to be a part of their life again. I hope that we'll be able to see each other more and stuff. So they're excited for that. But it's now sad, obviously, for your family that we're leaving. So it is what it is.
But my mum and dad, it doesn't cost them much to come and visit us. My grandparents flying all over the place anyway. They're actually
going
in
to Spain this September. So.
Yeah, so we'll be there. So maybe they'll pop by and see us. But I mean, they're all grown up and they can afford to now fly around. Like it's harder for us to fly around being a family of 7.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Next question. Are you doing this for... Oh.
This is the last question.
This was the one that got us like, oh.
Yeah.
This was the, oh.
Slightly negative, but...
So the question is, are you doing this just for content? What if YouTube doesn't work
out? We are doing it for content, for sure. I don't really understand the question, but...
Are we doing it for content because we just want views and we want to be YouTube famous? No.
No.
We are doing it for content to record our journey, our experiences, the whole...
We did have the idea of doing a YouTube thing when we moved here the first time, although we didn't think about it before moving.
No.
So we didn't capture any of that stuff. So the kids absolutely love. We've got some old videos of when they were tiny, and they love watching them. They've watched them over and over throughout the years.
Yeah.
So
every couple of years they'll go back to them, and they'll just have so much fun laughing at themselves. Like, I can't believe we did that. I can't believe I used to talk like that, and just how they was and experiencing themselves through actually watching themselves. Like, I don't have any home videos from when I was a child.
Yeah.
So it's so fun to go back and watch them and see them watch themselves and stuff.
And see us when we were younger.
Yeah.
But with this time we're doing it a bit different. Last time we were doing like daily vlogs and really I think we were trying to make money doing it, weren't we? It was like, that was one of the big things we were doing it for.
And because I've said that Brett is the entrepreneur one, he was wanting to do it. And I wasn't really he felt like he was pushing me a lot of the time to have to do it, and we was doing it as a daily vlog, and I was like, I'm not doing anything in the day. Why does anyone want to see this?
Yeah.
And it was a very it was causing a strain, and then in the end we was just like, this isn't working for us. Like this causing stress and strain for everyone. You feel like you're having to nag at me to do it. I feel like I'm having to hold a camera even though I feel like I'm not doing anything. Why does anyone watch this? Anyway, so this experience that we're doing it now is so that the children can see this whole journey. They can come back and watch it, especially Penelope. Like, she has no idea. She knows we're moving to Portugal, but she has no idea
everything that's going on. Seeing this, watching this, she's going to watch this video one day. Yeah. We hadn't really considered like it as a thing that would pay everything, just because we're not doing it for that reason. So, I mean, it's already working out because we've made some really great connections. We didn't see this at the start, but it's a really good place to connect with like-minded people, builders, realtors, friends, other YouTubers, like Portuguese are here helping us finding a rental place.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And also, like, it's a good way for us to actually have people's views and insight and opinions of people that are actually in Portugal that can actually advise us and have experience and stuff too, which we didn't even think, let's do a channel for that reason. But that is like an amazing benefit of us doing this channel,
like 90% of the people who are commenting, engaging, email, we get emails, messages, hundreds and hundreds of comments on videos from Portuguese people, which is amazing. So this is going to help us really find the people we need, get the questions answered. If we have a question, we ask the question, it gets answered. So it's amazing, and we really appreciate everyone who has helped and supported us. And we're excited to finally get to Portugal. And because we did know, like in the small town we were from in England, there's a lot of Portuguese people in England, and the small town we were from, there were Portuguese people there. So we did know Portuguese people. They had kids who went to the same schools and stuff we did. But this is like, I'm excited to actually get there and integrate ourselves into the culture and actually get some Portuguese friends as well.
But to actually
outside of YouTube.
But to actually answer the question, what did we actually start this YouTube channel for? It's more for a personal use, for us to document this whole experience, this whole journey and the whole process, everything basically. And so that our children can come back in years to time. Years to time. So our kids can come back and watch it from the beginning. And we plan on going to the mountains one last time and stuff before we leave. So we'll obviously record all of that and stuff. So,
and then our family, like in England, our family in Canada can watch what we're doing as well. It's a way for them to keep up to date. And it's just it's a really cool way to document everything. And if we said we didn't do it for money as well, like that would be a lie. Obviously, if I'm spending a ton of time doing it, I'm obviously planning on, making enough money to maybe cover a video editor would be nice. I'm excited about getting some sponsorships. I know Amy wants some nice fancy suitcases.
Only because we literally in a couple of months have to buy like 1 million suitcases.
Yeah. Well, we see a lot of people like the newbies, for instance, a YouTube channel that everyone will know if they're into Portugal stuff. They've done some suitcase stuff, so we're like, man, that would be really cool to at least get a discount or something. So I think that was our first goal as far as money wise. But if we don't make any money from YouTube, it's not going to affect our life at all. YouTube would be great if it pays a little bit of money. Awesome. If it just covers us going and doing stuff for the channel, going on trips, that sort of thing. Awesome. That would be great. But it can't not work out because it already is working out. It's already benefiting us hugely. I think.
But we're not relying on it.
There's some of the people we watch who have a lot of followers, doesn't look like they're doing too well as far as making money. So I don't know if how much you have to, we're not even looked that much into it, how much you need to make decent income.
Yeah.
So we're not that, we're not really counting on the money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just to be completely transparent, and I know the money thing, and we're going to do a video on because we are monetized actually. I don't know if you've seen that on one of our videos, but it took us about 8 weeks to get monetized. And I think we've made about $13.
Don't scare him with how much.
We've made about $13. So it's just going to sit there. When it pays out, we'll probably, buy something for the channel or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's the initial thing. Any money we make from it is just going to go back into the channel. We don't need the money out of it, and we'll just use it to grow, whether that's hiring someone's services to optimize stuff or video editors or whatever, some sort of VA to do some social media stuff outside of it. But yeah, basically that's it, guys. That's 10 questions. If you have any other questions, please pop them down below. And we do a live every couple of weeks on YouTube. So if you want to ask us directly instead of through this video, come and jump on the live. You can ask your questions there as well. They're always fun.
This is where we like to share like any updates or anything, or
yeah, our updates as far as
movies.
Stuff. We always cover, the new stuff that's happening with YouTube, the new stuff that's happening with the visa process and moving and all that stuff. And then what else? Anything else really? Any other updates in our life? So we, the last one we did was about an hour long. We had loads of people, loads of comments on there. And it's just a nice place to be able to chat to people. And then we do plan on actually doing some, we have a private community that we started, link in the description, where after the lives, we plan on moving over into the community to do like a Zoom. So even jump on and actually chat to people. And we think this will be a really cool way for us to ask questions, because here it's very like us to you. On YouTube and social media, and there it'll be somewhere we can ask questions directly. We can practice some Portuguese, and you guys can practice some English. I know we hear a lot of Portuguese people like to practice their English. So yeah, that's the plan down the road. But in the meantime, jump in the community there. There'll be lots of stuff going on there. We're just sort of building all this stuff and growing, and so it takes a lot of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, so hopefully we answered one of the questions that you had for this video. If not, put any other further questions you have down below, and we'll do maybe like a part 2 in a couple of weeks or so, where we can just answer some more questions.
Yeah, we really appreciate the support. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Take 2 seconds. It really helps us. And you have a fantastic week. Thanks very much for the questions, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.